To help us build up to the tennis tournament, I'm delighted to be joined by American 2016 Olympic silver medalist Rajeev Ram. Rajeev and Venus Williams won the mixed doubles silver medal 5 years ago, and he is the senior-most player in a young American tennis team at the Games. Rajeev, thanks for your time. This is the day of the opening ceremony at these Games. Has COVID-19 dampened the buzz, so to say?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You know, I think Olympics are all about the people, the fans, the athletes. You get to see other sports, this and that. And you know, we can't do any of that at the moment. There's no people, no spectators whatsoever. So it's definitely a dampened field than normal. But, you know, look, we're still here. I think the whole world has gone through some serious changes over the last 5 years. And I think we're all, you know, very happy to be here in the first place and definitely ready to compete.
Okay, everyone heading into Tokyo knew that COVID-19 would sort of be an unwilling partner in this journey. Rajeev, how have you adapted to the protocols in place?
It's been tough, absolutely. You know, it feels like we have to make sure all the protocols are done correctly, which we do. It's almost more, you know, anxiety causing than the virus itself. It feels like if you mess up, you know, a form that you have to sign or an app that you have to download or scan or something that you might be in some trouble or whatever. But it is what it is. I think you just have to go in with an open mind and realize that it's, you know, that is just the way it is. And the quicker you can accept that, I think the easier the whole thing becomes.
Rajeev, tennis is a high-profile sport, always at the Olympic Games, and the American tennis players have always done well, going back to Andre Agassi winning the gold in Atlanta, and the Williams sisters, Serena and Venus, winning multiple medals. Now, you're the senior-most pro this time. How do you look at the squad which is alongside you?
Young, for sure. As you said, we've always had, you know, multiple medal winners. I guess we still do this time, but, you know, multiple people with multiple medals, I should say. And, you know, some of the, you know, top names in tennis, you mentioned Agassi and obviously Venus and Serena both. But, yeah, different this year a little bit. Definitely younger, maybe a little bit more inexperienced, but on the other hand, maybe a bit more hungry and ready to kind of make their own name. So I'm really excited. I think both men's and women's on our side, you know, they're going to pose threats, and I think they're going to play with everything they have, which is all you can ask for.
Okay, but for you, Rajeev, tricky draw for you in the men's doubles. You're taking on the Russians, Andrei Rublev and Karen Khachanov. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, very tricky. Look, you know, these guys are two of the better singles players around, and they played a lot of doubles together, which a lot of times the singles guys don't do. So I think we're going to have to be on it from the beginning. But, you know, I'm quite excited to play with Francis. He's a great young player, a super good kid. And, you know, we're going to give it our best, bring a lot of energy to the court and, you know, see what we can do.
Okay, you know, Rajeev, I want to take you back to that mixed doubles medal at the Rio Games. I was there for your match against Rohan Bopanna and Sania Mirza in the semis. You were down and out in the first set, but then you and Venus Williams came storming back. You have won Grand Slams as well. But where does that Olympic medal stand in the trophy cabinet?
Yeah, it's different, to be honest. I've been asked this question a bit. It's different when you play for yourself. You play for, you know, you play in the Grand Slams. You play in the, you know, other big tournaments on tour. It's still for yourself. Or if it's doubles, it's you and your partner. But you know, it's still a tennis event only, and that's what it is. Granted, it's, you know, some of the biggest ones in the world. But when you play the Olympics, it's so much bigger. You know, it's every sport, it's all the countries, you're such a small part of such a big show. And I just feel like, you know, it's special in its own way, probably, you know, differently special than the Grand Slams, but special in its own way. And, you know, there's so much more that goes into an Olympic Games that, yeah, you know, so proud to be a part of now multiple ones and, you know, even prouder to have made a medal.
Now, since you're joining us, Rajeev, I'll have to ask you for an overall view of the tennis program, because there's been lots of withdrawals, especially in the men's draw. How difficult a choice was it for you to actually fly to Japan and play at these Olympics?
You know, I think that's personal. For me, it's not a difficult choice at all. I'm going to represent, you know, my country. I'm going to play in team events whenever possible. I think it's great. I think it's such a great part of our sport. I think it's, you know, something that we are privileged and honored to do. Some people may not see it that way. That's okay. I don't blame them at all. And I think, you know, if you look at it from a purely scheduling point of view, yeah, it's brutal. I mean, I got home from London a week ago, and you have to fly all the way to Japan and then all the way back to America again for the for the summer circuit. If it was anything else but the Olympic Games, I wouldn't even think twice about coming. I wouldn't come. So I think you can see it both sides. I just happen to choose the side of, representing the U.S. and playing the Olympics at all costs.
Okay, the tennis headlines ahead of these games are dominated by one man. Novak Djokovic is going for the gold, which he has never won before. The golden Grand Slam in tennis, which we've only seen Steffi Graf achieve so far back in 1988, it really seems on this time, doesn't it?
I tell you what, there's a lot of things that we probably all saw that we thought were never going to happen again. And people, three of the guys in the men's game have just eclipsed it, and including Serena has, broken many records of her own on the women's side. So it seems like these records are falling weekly. I don't know how you feel, but I feel like it seems like every other week there's some new record being broken. And yeah, I mean, what Steffi did in 88, I remember really well. I was young, but I remember hearing about it. I remember seeing it later on when I, was a bit older. And geez, Novak, after his performance at Wimbledon, seemed sure ripe to do exactly that, and then to go on to the US Open. So I wouldn't, if you're asking me, I think he's the favorite to win, and I think he's going to do it. Obviously, there's a lot of tennis to be played, but it's an incredible time to be a part of this sport.
Rajeev, these are gender-neutral games. That's what the IOC is calling them. And I have to ask you about the women's draw as well, not just about Novak Djokovic. It's pretty much a solid turnout there. Lots of top 10 players in the fray. But the attention will be on Naomi Osaka because, there's the pressure of expectations as a home favorite and also the situation over the last few months, which will dictate headlines.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting story, isn't it? She's made headlines for, a few other reasons, albeit good or bad. I don't know. I think divided opinion on that. And then she's playing at home. She's playing, it's obviously the Olympics. But yeah, I mean, I think she's, under the microscope for sure. And then for me, Ash Barty, for what she was able to do at Wimbledon, world number one. But, that's never easy to play a slam with all the pressure on you. She came through. She's got to be super high on confidence and feeling like she's got as good a chance as any to win the medal. And then, it's the Olympics after all. Some people play inspired when they play for their country, and you just never know what's going to happen. So I think it's hugely exciting on the women's side, really.
Okay, Rajeev, thanks for your time. Wishing you the best and hope you have a safe and successful games like last time.
Thank you very much.